our conversation. I want you to listen to first. This is, of course, the second tragic death of a migrant child from Guatemala in the past month. Last time, when a 7-year-old girl died, the administration, they expressed their concerns and sympathies for the family, but they didn't accept any responsibility for their policies contributing to it. Here's how they responded at the time.
How many children 17 years old or younger have died in DHS, ICE, or CBP custody since you took office?
I will get back to you on that figure. What I can tell you is that we have saved 4,200 migrants who are at distress.
Approximately how many have died?
I understand your question, sir. I will get back to you.
Can you give me an approximate figure?
I will get back to you. I'm not going to guess under oath.
Right now, as we speak, there is a surge of illegal immigration heading towards our country that presents a national crisis now. Not a month from now, not a year from now, right now.
Does the administration take responsibility for the girl's death?
Does the administration take responsibility for a parent taking a child on a trek through Mexico to get to this country? No.
But the first thing when Nielsen testified last week, she couldn't give them any answers about how many children have died.
It's pretty stunning to think, that she's there, she's going before Congress. It seems like that's a number you should know. I mean, it doesn't seem like this should be happening so frequently that that's a statistic you should be unaware of. Obviously, if you're the United States, you would like this to never happen. It's a tragic loss. Someone has lost their child. Yes, it is a harrowing journey to decide to cross the border, and they do take their own lives, they take their children's lives in their hands when they decide to do that. But it gives us an idea of how little we know about what happens to these children and to these families once they are in custody. And the fact that she would go before members of Congress and not have that answer at the ready, I mean, you could see that members were not very pleased.
Yeah, and she'll continue to get that going forward. You cover immigration very closely. The one thing you hear the administration say time and time again is that there's not much difference in the way they've implemented their policies with the Obama administration. They often say that. Obviously, they've taken a much more hardline approach, but how do you assess the difference between the Trump administration's handling of these migrant crosses of the border with the way the Obama administration did as well?
Well, the Trump administration has been much stricter in terms of how they want to process these asylum seekers under U.S. law. I mean, you can apply for asylum once you're in the country, but the Trump administration has said even if they must essentially arrive at a port of entry to be able to apply for asylum, which is not the case. You can cross between ports of entry and still be able to apply for asylum, but the administration is taking a different interpretation of that, and that has been challenged in the courts. Another thing to remember about the administration's immigration policies is that the House Democrats are coming in charge next year, and while we talk a lot about investigation over Russia issues or conflicts of interest, one of the constant areas of potential investigations that comes up when I talk with Democrats is the issue of immigration. Speaking with the presumed Homeland Security Chairman, Benny Thompson, he has a litany of administration policies on immigration he wants to investigate. So the asylum policy, the family separation policy, the travel ban, and once the House Dems gain gavels and subsequent subpoena power, this is going to be something they're going to be asking a lot of questions.
And how much is Pelosi making this an issue for the oversight responsibilities? When you look at all the things they want to investigate, where does this rank in her priority list?
Oh, really high. Someone talked about, look, Pelosi has strongly opposed the border wall. She's called it immoral. She's called Trump administration immigration policies wrong and immoral. She's attacked them repeatedly. And I think not only will you see investigations, I think you're going to see amendments that'll attack spending. They'll try to attach provisions to legislation that will prevent the Trump administration from implementing these policies. Now, the Republican Senate will block it, but there's going to be votes repeatedly in the next Congress on this issue. Not only investigations, they'll be voting on this.
And already that's leading to this crisis that we're in right now. The other crisis, the shutdown crisis, which we're going to talk about in the next segment, a new message from a presidential ally. It's unlikely the shutdown ends anytime soon.